Pirkei Avos, Pirkei, the 5th chapter, Mishnah Zayin, the 7th Mishnah. Okay, previously we had the series of 10s, now we are moving towards a series of 7s. In this Mishnah and in some of the Mishnahs to come, we begin to see more of that sort of ethical tone that was prevalent in the earlier chapters of Pirkei Avos. Okay, let's begin. Shiva devarim begolim, v'shiva b'chacham. There are 7 things begolim and a golim. A golim is commonly translated as a boor, a unrefined person. The word really means like sort of an unformed mass. So this is kind of what a person is. If he's unrefined, he's just kind of a gross person. He has not made himself, so to speak. So this term golem, that's what that means, a boor. V'shiva b'chacham, and 7 by a wise person. When we say a chacham, we are not just talking about somebody who has a body of knowledge, but somebody who has embodies that body of knowledge. His knowledge, his studies permeate his being, so that it bears fruit in terms of his behavior, how he comports himself, and onward. Okay, so these are the 2 types of people we're dealing with: a golem and a chacham. Okay, a chacham and the medaber bifnei mishu gadol mamenu b'chachma u'b'minyan. A chacham, a wise person, and a medaber, he does not speak bifnei mi, in front of one, shu gadol mamenu, who's big, greater than him, whether that be b'chachma, whether that be in wisdom, or b'minyan, or whether that be in age. In other words, a chacham has no problem giving deference to somebody who is older or wiser. A chacham does not need to show up these people to assert himself. He doesn't mind deferring a little bit the honor that he should have coming to him. He doesn't mind forgiving a little of that in the face of somebody who's greater. Fine. And he does not enter into the words of his friend. In other words, he doesn't butt in. He doesn't cut people off. He lets everybody have their say. I think here this is a disposition, in terms of, it speaks to a disposition that is one of listening, one of learning. One of the key ideas in Pirkei Avos is that not everything is learned from books. You can learn a lot from people, and sometimes it's subtly so, not only from their what they say, but from their mannerisms, etc. So there's a lot of value in remaining quiet while somebody else is speaking. Okay, ve'eno nivhal lahashiv. He does not stumble or jump prematurely lahashiv to answer. In other words, if he's asked a question, he doesn't fall over himself just to get an answer out there. He gives well thought out and deliberate answers. Shoel ka'inyan umeshiv kahalacha. When he asks questions, he doesn't beat around the bush. He asks incisive, direct questions that are dealing specifically with the matter at hand. Umeshiv kahalacha, and he answers back in a similar way. He answers in a manner that is correct. In legal terms, that would be called kahalacha, but even in non-legal terms, he would answer. He wouldn't beat around the bush. He would give clear, concise statements as to what it is he's trying to answer. Fine. Va'omer al harishon rishon, and he speaks concerning the first matters first, vel acharon acharon, and last matters last. In other words, he has an idea of what is a sort of primary importance, or is a secondary importance. He doesn't put secondary things before primary things. He understands the proper way to put together his thoughts. So whenever he's speaking on any given thing, he speaks about the primary issues before getting lost in the grass of secondary issues. Fine. V'al ma shelo shema, and concerning that which he has not heard, omer lo shemati, he says, I didn't hear. I didn't hear it. In other words, he says, I don't know. It's perfectly fine to say, I don't know. There's no crime in not knowing. And in fact, it is unwise to say that did you know about something when you don't, obviously. Umoda al ha'emes, and he will concede, he'll agree to the truth. Whatever the truth is, he will concede to it. A wise person concedes to the truth. A unwise person will fight the truth just for the sake of being right. So this is, we've all met people who have to be right even whenever they are wrong. That is an unfortunate character trait. Fine. V'chilufeihen begolim, and the opposite of these traits that we just listed, those are traits that are apparent begolim, by a golim, by an unrefined person, somebody who has not refined his character into this gentlemanly scholarly caste that is the Jewish ideal, the Torah ideal. So anyway, again, we're getting back to our roots in terms of Pirkei, in terms of the sort of the overall purpose of Pirkei Avos. These are sort of ethical directives that are sort of immediately applicable to our lives, to our actions. Anyway, I hope this was beneficial. Hope to see you again for the next Mishnah. Kol Tuv, Hatzlacha Rava. Keep learning.